Hi, Nathan here, founder of Embodied Excellence and the creator of the Infinite Possibility video series. This week, what I'd like to talk to you about is something that I really don't want to have to talk to you about. Unfortunately, the situation kind of arose, and it's also an important lesson. So, let's kick this off. As you can see, I am wearing a New England Patriots sweatshirt here, and many of you by now will know that the New England Patriots, if you're sports fans, that the New England Patriots lost to the Denver Broncos in their bid to get to the Super Bowl. And it was, for New England fans, a heartbreaking loss. It came so close at the end, and we just have to kind of shake our heads, and we're disappointed, right? Because we really wanted to get there, to the big game. And this just really got me thinking about life. And how often in life are we disappointed, either in ourselves or in a situation? And what is disappointment really? I looked up the definition, and it says basically it's dissatisfaction with the expected results, with the outcome. So certainly I had expected our team to make it to the Super Bowl, to play really well, and to just have a great game. And that didn't happen, and we lost. And so I'm disappointed. Now, the reason why disappointment is so important, and the reason why I also wish disappointment for you, is because it's such a learning tool for us. If you're not experiencing disappointment at some interval in your life, well, it probably means that you aren't stretching yourself enough. Because when we get disappointed, it's because generally it's because we're trying to do something new. We're trying to push ourselves to a higher level that we haven't achieved before, to learn something. And very few of us will be successful the first time we try something. Or if we're engaging at a high level, if the stakes are high, and that's the level that we're playing at, well, oftentimes we're going to experience that disappointment. We're going to experience that failure of not reaching those results or those expectations that we wanted. But that's a good sign, because that means, as I said, that you are stretching yourself. You are reaching for higher levels of learning and growth. Now, sometimes we get disappointed because we just had a bad day. Maybe we didn't get enough sleep. Maybe there wasn't enough preparation, or maybe there wasn't good enough communication going on, depending on your situation. And sometimes what we do is we confuse that one failure with ourselves being failures. And that's just not the case. Very often, we just need to take a moment to take a step back, to slow down and say, okay, yes, I'm disappointed that I didn't reach this outcome, that I didn't get these results. But what can I learn from this experience? What is the takeaway here? How can we say, okay, I failed in this moment, but this is good because, and start to look at the upside, or the thing that we can learn from that moment, or from not meeting our expectations. Because there's always an upside. It just depends on what we choose to focus on, where we choose to put our attention. Do we want to wallow in our disappointment, or do we want to keep our heads up high and say, you know what, I did my best that I could in that moment, and I know I can do better. The difference between the greats and those who stay mediocre, well, the greats use that moment or those moments of failure or disappointment as a springboard to get even better, as motivation, as fire, as fuel to go to the next level and keep putting in the hours, keep putting in the work necessary to finally achieve that outcome or to achieve that result. Those who stay in the mediocre level, it's because they're using that failure or that disappointment as their story for why they're never going to be great. And they let themselves stay in that comfort level. So, my wish for you, my hope for you, is that you do experience disappointment, because that means you're stretching yourself and you're trying to grow in this world, and that's awesome. So, the challenge for this week, for all of you, is I want you to think of some disappointment that you've had recently. And if you can't think of one, maybe you're just on an amazing streak right now. Maybe there's a disappointment that you've had a little while back that you can remember, or something that you gave up on, that you were disappointed about. I want you to go back to that thing, whatever it is, and I want you to see if you can extract some lessons from it. What are the lessons learned? What are the things that you can say, you know, I didn't do as well as I wanted to in that thing, but that's good because this is what I learned. This is what I took away from that. This is how I'm better or could get better today because of that moment. So that is the challenge for this week. I hope you'll take it on whatever side of that fence you fall on. If you've had a failure recently or a disappointment recently, then really let yourself be in the feeling state of that. Examine it, look at it. What can you take away from it? And maybe it's something long ago and you need to go back and kind of regress to remember whatever that thing was. But if that's the case, then I hope you'll do the work. Okay, so that's it for this week. I hope this video has served you. I'm sorry to all my fellow New England fans out there. We tried really hard and we'll go get them next year. Lots of lessons to learn. And if this video has served you, hit the like or share button. Leave some comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And until I see you next week, go out there every single day and in your way, be an extraordinary ambassador for humanity.